Today, we're diving into a recent and crucial development in U.S. China relations, and it all begins with a simple question: can two global superpowers find common ground? In the world of geopolitics, every move, every meeting, holds the potential to shape the future. Just last month, the United States and China made a significant agreement. They set their sights on an upcoming summit between two of the most influential leaders on the planet, Presidents Joe Biden and Xi Jinping. This historic announcement came after hours of intense negotiations between Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi and high-ranking U.S. diplomats in the heart of Washington. Notably, it was the first time a Chinese foreign minister had visited the U.S. capital since 2018. Wang Yi's visit was nothing short of a diplomatic whirlwind. He met with President Biden, opening the door for vital discussions and fostering open lines of communication. It's no secret that the U.S. and China have their differences, but this meeting was deemed a good opportunity by the White House to build bridges between these geopolitical giants. Over 2 days of meetings with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, Wang Yi invested an impressive 9 hours in candid and in-depth conversations. They delved into the core issues that have challenged the relationship between these two global powerhouses. Washington's concerns were laid on the table. There's the urgent need to re-establish military-to-military channels between the U.S. and China, and then there are the thorny matters of Beijing's actions in the East and South China Sea, Taiwan, human rights, the flow of fentanyl precursors, and the cases of Americans detained in China. But amidst these tough exchanges, a spark of hope emerged, a glimmer of positivity. The highlight was the expected meeting between Presidents Biden and Xi, scheduled on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit next month in San Francisco. Preparations for this meeting are already in motion, although the timing remains a bit of a mystery. Chinese leaders typically confirm such plans closer to the event, leaving us in suspense. Wang Yi shared with President Biden that the aim of his visit was to help stem the decline in U.S. China ties, with the upcoming summit as the guiding light. The foreign ministry of both nations issued statements indicating a shared commitment to making this high-stakes meeting happen. The Biden administration recognizes the importance of direct engagement between leaders to manage tensions and prevent conflicts. A potential meeting between the two presidents offers the prospect of strategic discussions that could pave the way for a more stable world. This 3-day visit by Wang Yi follows a series of diplomatic efforts aimed at repairing a relationship that had been deteriorating rapidly. It's important to note that this diplomacy doesn't signify a change in policy but rather an effort to keep channels of communication open. During Wang's meetings, the Middle East situation was a recurring topic, but it remains uncertain whether Beijing is fully on board with Washington's plans to help contain the conflict. It's a delicate balancing act on a global scale. The U.S. officials have expressed deep concerns, urging China to play a more constructive role, particularly in its interactions with Iran. Finding a path to calm is the ultimate goal. With China's condemnation of violence and attacks on civilians in the Israel-Hamas conflict, we can see that the complexities of global diplomacy are ever present. Wang Yi's comments, however, do not explicitly mention Hamas, underscoring the nuances of this high-stakes situation. The U.S. also took the opportunity to raise concerns about China's actions in the South China Sea and the East China Sea. These are matters of international importance, including China's alleged obstruction of a Philippine resupply mission and an unsafe intercept of a U.S. aircraft. In the grand theater of global politics, every move counts, and every meeting shapes the future. So, as we await the U.S. China summit and the unfolding of international diplomacy, we can't help but wonder, can these two global giants find common ground in an ever-changing world? Stay tuned as we explore the answer.